Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427's to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and whew, wow. I guess it's after yesterday, pretty much with what I've been through, talking about the new SpongeBob movie, hands down. Yes, folks, I did promise that I would actually talk about this movie, and of course, today's thoughts video, hands down, and boy, I'm delivering on that said promise, hands down, so yeah. And of course, surprisingly enough, we're already a few days away towards Christmas as we speak, so I've got a lot to do before the big day comes around for sure, if nothing actually holds me back, hands down, so yeah. But I do hope things will go according to a plan by far for sure, so that way I can finally pretty much do what I have to do, hands down, so yeah, but I guess right up until then, I kind of figure pretty much for today's thoughts video that I would talk about, yeah, I did, yeah, like I said, I did tease this thing, of course, pretty much in the last thoughts video, hands down, so I'm actually delivering on that said promise, hands down, so yeah. And I guess it has been about a few years since I've actually talked about one of these films for sure, so I think it's about time that we pretty much get ourselves back in for, of course, what we're going to be in for, hands down, so yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front for sure, so yeah, I kind of figure for today's thoughts video, well, I guess, surprisingly enough, I think I know, pretty much, I did kind of, mention this for sure, but maybe I think it's about time that, we, make our way back over to a certain planet, that has, pretty much, some blue Smurfy cats. And that planet actually goes by the name of Pandora. Yeah, I think that will get you the idea, of course, of what we're going to be talking about for sure, so yeah, I know I did tease this in, of course, the previous thoughts video, so I kind of figure I would actually talk about it here today for sure, and surprisingly enough, it was not only a long one that I've actually gone through, hands down, but surprisingly enough, I actually did invite one of my family members to see it with me for sure, so yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front for sure, so yeah, and in case a lot of you guys are actually quite curious, and of course, what I'm going to be talking about, looks like it's time to pretty much return to the planet of Pandora with, of course, today's movie that we actually got not too long ago, which is none other than Avatar: Fire and Ash, so yeah, that is, of course, what we're going to be talking about here today. So yes, folks, we're finally going to be talking about Avatar: Fire and Ash for sure. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it's also pretty much the very recent sequel that we actually got that's based around the smashing film given to us from well-known director James Cameron, which is none other than Avatar. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright then, well, before I could go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I think it makes sense for me to brush up myself on, of course, a little recap on, of course, the previous Avatar movies for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much starting with, of course, the first Avatar movie, hands down, for sure. Yeah, I guess there's no doubt in my mind that pretty much since 2009, for sure, Avatar has actually become one of the many staples for, of course, modern day cinema, hands down. Not only giving us pretty much a little something that's quite a bit of a spectacle to behold, but also laid the groundwork for reviving 3D in movies for a brief period of time. So yeah. And of course, I actually did have fond memories with, of course, me, my grandmother, and of course, my sister actually going to a see for sure. And yeah, for while I can't necessarily say it's one of my favorites, hands down, I can understand why people like it for sure. But then again, a lot of people actually have the same reaction to, of course, the first Avatar movie when it first came out for sure. It actually has beautiful and revolutionary visuals, but it actually sucks at storytelling, so yeah. But that's at least what I can say, of course, on that front. So I may not be the biggest fan of James Cameron's Avatar since it first came out, but I can understand why a lot of people like it for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say for the first Avatar movie. And if you may recall, a few years ago, I did talk about the first of its sequels that we actually got, which is, of course, The Way of Water, to which, yeah, you can definitely go check out my thoughts video on that said movie, despite the fact that I was losing my voice because I was sick with COVID at that time. Never do that again, for the love of God. So yeah, but to make it short, sweet, and to the point, I actually do like pretty much The Way of Water for sure. Yeah, it still has the really great visuals, pretty much, and effects that really made the first film what it is, but amping up a bit for sure. Although I will say, compared to the first film, the story in the second film did improve a bit, hands down. Not by a whole lot, but only a little bit for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, those are pretty much my simple reactions and, of course, my full-on thoughts on, of course, the first two Avatar movies for sure. And yeah, say what you will about them, hands down, but, I mean, come on, I think we do know, hands down, that pretty much if you don't like the Avatar movies for sure, I think pretty much of anything, you can still actually admire some really great films from James Cameron for sure. Like, of course, you can still love Terminator 2, you can still love Aliens, you can still love True Lies. Hell, you can even still love Titanic, hands down for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, pretty much a whole series of movies that are basically copying all sorts of 90s environmentally message movies, environmentally friendly movies from back in the 90s. So pretty much not selling on those, but sticking with pretty much the same director giving us the sinking of the Titanic. Yeah. But that's at least what I can say, of course, that from. But I'm getting way too ahead of myself, so. But yeah, given to, of course, the first two films that we actually got, I was actually quite curious to see about what the third film will actually give us, hands down, for sure, and to see on what other direction they're going to go, hands down, for sure, because yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, I do see a lot of good potential in the Avatar movies, for sure, and whatever criticisms it's actually got, pretty much in the past, maybe they can actually improve on them, for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything for the case of this movie, I actually was kind enough to actually go and see this one for myself, but thankfully I didn't go along, for sure, because I already invited my grandmother to see this movie with me, who is actually a really big fan of course, those movies, for sure. So yeah, there's no way I'm gonna let my grandmother miss out on, of course, this new one that we actually got, So yeah, so we managed to get ourselves in to officially go and see this movie, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas as always, and well, now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing this movie, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, I think from what I could gather compared to the last film that we actually got, honestly, I really don't think it's actually as strong as, of course, the last film that we actually got, nor can I say it's actually that great, but I will say right now, it's not terrible either. I don't think it's actually a god-awful flick, for sure. I'm somewhere in the middle, of course, this one, for sure, and for what it is fine from what I can gather, for sure, so yeah. I think that's probably the best way I can actually describe this movie overall. I don't hate it. I don't think it's actually that great. I think it's fine for what it is, for sure, and that's okay in my book, hands down, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about, for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, honestly, to me, I think from what I can gather for the story for this film, yeah, I do like some of the ideas that they actually decided to go for in order to help expand the entire world of Avatar, let alone explore different parts of Pandora that we've never actually seen before, which is pretty much something I really do want to see in pretty much these movies, for sure. But from what I can gather, it is structured out. Sometimes it's done well, but other times it just kind of feels a little off in some areas, for sure. Like, I think it's almost like it's recycling pretty much the plot points in what we actually got in the first two films, hands down, and not do anything that could actually make it all the more gripping or exciting, for sure. And I mean, granted, there are pretty much some good plot points that are actually explored a whole lot that I really do think is pretty much needed, but there are, of course, some other ones that I just kind of felt were either not needed or just kind of pretty much makes the film just go all over the place, for sure, so yeah, they did try their best to really try to make the story all the more great, for sure, but at the end of the day, honestly, I think they probably wouldn't go anywhere with, of course, the story, for sure. I mean, yeah, it is delve into a little bit, but not by a whole lot, for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say for, of course, the story for, of course, this movie. Now, as for the writing, I have to say, well, honestly, to me, I think it is crafted fine for what it is, for sure, but truth of the matter is, I really do think they could have actually done a whole lot to really try to make it all the more gripping, hands down, as the writing in this film is kind of crafted, kind of a little bit of a mixed bag on my part. There are some parts of it that I do think are actually written quite well, but other times I just kind of felt was a little too sloppy in some areas, for sure, and And yeah, like I said, it does have some plot points that occur during the course of the movie that are either not neat or just make the film just go all over the place for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I guess for the story and the writing, they do have some good ideas thrown into it. But I just kind of felt they could have done anything to really try to make them all the more great for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for sure, to which, yeah, next up is, of course, the characters, and, well, I guess to me, pretty much from what I can gather, sure, yeah, the characters are, of course, what we were expecting, of course, these movies for sure, but of course, the one thing I can give this film credit for is that I do like some bits of development that is, of course, given to them for sure, and of course, some of the ones that have grown and evolved pretty much since the last films for sure. Yeah, I do like what they're trying to go for, hands down, to try their best to make them likable and interesting for sure, and yeah, I just, yeah, and part of me did kind of felt that some characters just appear for 1 second, then just go nowhere pretty much in the next scene, and then they just come back, and you're supposed to be like, oh yeah, I think this movie is supposed to be about them. So yeah, sure, it can be quite messy, pretty much from what I've mentioned earlier for sure, but again, I will give the film credit for at least trying to make the characters grow and evolve, and still try to give them some pretty nice development to make them likable and interesting for sure. I mean, yeah, it's probably not much from what I can gather, but I will give it credit for at least pretty much giving the characters their all for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. Now, as for the actors that came aboard to play all these characters, yeah, if there's one bright side, that I can say about this movie for sure is that, well, much like the last couple of films from what I can gather, I really do think the actors pretty much in this movie actually did give off some pretty good performances for sure. So yeah, I always do love their commitment to really try to make this movie work for sure, and it's through their performances from what I can gather that I really do think is actually very nicely done, hands down for sure. So yeah, sure, yeah, I think they had to work around the crap material that's given to them, hands down, but of course, in some parts that I do think actually work well, that the actors had to work off of, hands down, I really do think is actually quite nice. So yeah, I guess either way, I really do think all the actors that came aboard to play all these characters, I still think they gave off some pretty good performances, I'm not gonna lie, for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front, hands down. So yeah, I wish they could have done a whole lot more with the characters, but I will give the actors credit for giving off some pretty good performances that I really do love and admire all the way. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Well, quite a whole lot, actually, so yeah, I guess pretty much, obviously enough, the production design for, of course, this movie, I will say, yeah, I will give it credit, hands down, that much like the last several films, I really love on what they actually did for the production design for, of course, this pretty much for, of course, this movie for sure. Yeah, I can tell they really pretty much did everything they can while they were working on that Sega film for sure to really make it look absolutely great for sure. Yeah, with not only some really great set pieces, hands down for sure, that I really do think really helps blending perfectly with the film's surroundings for sure. But much like the last few films that we actually got for sure, yeah, they really deliver perfectly well with the visuals and the effects, hands down, because just by looking at it all around, you really do feel like you're pretty much on Pandora, hands down, with all these characters for sure, and that's the one thing that the past couple of Avatar movies and this movie actually did accomplish very well for sure. And plus, I still really do admire that we actually get more world building with, of course, with what Pandora is actually providing for sure. And yeah, I guess pretty much in a good number of parts where they actually did explore different parts of Pandora for sure. I really do think is actually very nicely done, hands down, and I do want these films, if they ever keep on going with those for sure, to keep on doing all that for sure, because, well, I do want to see what the whole entire alien planet all these movies take place in would actually have to offer for sure. So yeah. And not to mention, for the fact that, given to the visuals and the effects that I've actually mentioned, I really do admire what they did with, of course, the past films for sure, and of course, perfecting some really great performance capture, hands down, for sure, because yeah, it can be really hard to really try to make pretty much all the characters and the environment they're in actually look great for sure. And that's something that the past films and this film really accomplished quite well for sure. And I guess pretty much of anything, that's the one thing James Cameron really likes to do pretty much in his past films, let alone his recent films were getting with all these for sure. He really wants to showcase pretty much some of the new technology that he wants to incorporate in all of his films for sure. And that's the one thing I really do love and admire, and I'm glad he kept the momentum going with, of course, pretty much this movie, much like what he did with the previous movies for sure. So yeah. And, of course, speaking of James Cameron, hands down for sure, yeah. I guess pretty much of anything for the next aspect, pretty much his direction that he gave for, of course, this movie. Well, I think I will give him credit that he is still on his A game to really try to make this movie work for sure. To which, yeah, I guess most of the material that he has to work with, hands down, could use a little adjusting here and there for sure. But I still admire his commitment and really putting a lot of hard-working effort to really try to make this movie work for sure. And yeah, and that's the one thing I really do admire about pretty much James Cameron for sure. And yeah, may not be the best I've actually seen, but I still think it's actually done pretty good, and I still applaud his commitment to really try to make it work. So yeah. And of course, the cinematography in this film, I actually do think is actually done pretty good for sure, with some really good camera shots they actually did to really help pretty much really make you feel like you are in, of course, the movie that you're actually watching for sure, and you want to be in, of course, that kind of environment, hands down. So yeah. I guess either way, I really do think they did a good job with the cinematography in this film, and I do think it's actually done pretty well for sure. So yeah. And of course, the ending, I have to say, well, I think I will have to say it's kind of fine from what I can gather. Like, of course, there are a good number of cuts from what I've actually seen that actually do work. But at the same time, though, I just kind of felt there are some that I do felt are a little lackluster, to say the least, and they could have actually done some things to really try to, fix things up a bit for sure. And not to mention the film's pacing, I have to say. I guess it is a little half and half from what I can gather for sure. And I mean, yeah, I think sometimes the pacing in this movie actually flows pretty well, but other times it just kind of felt pretty much really is dragging the film down for sure. But that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. And of course, the one thing that I can criticize this movie for is definitely, without a doubt, the runtime for, of course, this movie. Holy hell! I've got a lot to say about the runtime for sure, so yeah. I guess pretty much of anything, this movie actually clocks in at pretty much well over 3 hours and 17 minutes. Yeah, I'm not even kidding to say this. 3 hours and 17 minutes of course, this movie as a whole. Yeah, it's just way damn too long for sure, so yeah, I really don't know why for sure. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I have seen other movies that are over 3 hours long as well, but I think the one thing they can get away with, of course, with that particular runtime for sure, is that you really have to do something for a movie to pretty much have that said runtime, but pretty much counteract that with, of course, strong writing, and engaging story, and interesting characters. And that's just to name me a few. But yeah, I guess with what I've seen with this movie, hands down, yeah, for it to be well over 3 hours long, boy, it really did feel like that, hands down, because yeah, honestly, to me, I think with a good number of parts that I kind of felt were not needed and just kind of goes nowhere, hands down. I think you could have at least maybe cut like maybe 45 minutes or maybe an hour, hands down, and not miss a single thing for sure, so yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front, so yeah, I guess for what it is, yeah, like I said, I don't mind movies that go over 3 hours long for sure, but I guess for the sake of this movie, yeah, it really did feel like that, hands down, like, of course, pretty much, I was looking at the time on my phone for sure, and I'm literally thinking to myself, my god, how long is this movie, so yeah. I guess pretty much of anything, 3 hours and 17 minutes, that almost feels like pretty much 25 years and 17 days in dog years for sure. That's how long it is, people, so yeah. But if you are willing to actually prepare to see this movie for that particular amount of time for sure, well, I do hope you'll actually have a really strong appetite for your popcorn bucket, hands down, because, well, it is pretty much much needed, hands down, so yeah. My god, I think I seem to have gone on pretty much on the runtime for quite some time for sure. In fact, if anything, my rant, of course, the runtime for this movie is actually much shorter than the movie itself for sure, but whew, man. But you kind of get the idea, of course, that front. So yeah, I think given to everything that I've actually said, and that's just to name me a few, I think that will get you the idea on how I feel about this movie as a whole. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole, so yeah, overall, Avatar Firing Ash, I really can't necessarily say it's actually as strong as its predecessor, hands down, for sure, let alone be as strong as, of course, the previous sequel that we actually got for sure, as I do felt that it does have several issues, pretty much, with what it's actually got, like, of course, pretty much the story and the writing could have actually been done a whole lot better, and that's just to name me a few. But I can't say it's awful either, hands down, as it actually still has some really good stuff that I really do think worked well in the past films, that I do think work well in, of course, this film, hands down, so yeah, I guess pretty much, if anything, yeah, everything from what I've actually seen by far, yeah, I do think they could have actually done some things to really make it a much more stronger movie, hands down, for sure. And like I said, it is actually a chore to pretty much sit through this movie for over 3 freaking hours. Sorry, didn't mean to go on a tangent like that. So yeah, but I guess either way, I think go with what it's actually trying to do to really try to make it work, hands down. I still think they actually did a fine enough job for what it is, hands down. So yeah, I can't necessarily say this movie is actually great, but I can't hate this one either, for sure. So yeah, I definitely do think I'm pretty much split down the middle, of course, this one for sure. So yeah, I don't hate it. I don't think it's actually that great. It's okay in my book, hands down, for sure. But hey, maybe I think it's just me pretty much reacting the same way as, of course, the other films that we actually got, for sure. So for what it is, I actually still am glad that I actually pretty much saw this one for sure. So yeah. But I guess either way, I guess unless you actually want to get yourself in for a good time, for sure, you'll get in, of course, some parts in, of course, this movie, but you'll probably not get much, for sure. But, of course, I'm not going to stop you guys from, of course, seeing it, for sure, and I do think it is worth somewhat of the recommendation on my part, for sure. So yeah, it may not be pretty much a god-awful flick, but I can't necessarily say it's great either, for sure. It's fine in my book, for sure. And that's okay, hands down. So yeah, I guess it's what I can say, of course, that front, for sure. So, Avatar Firing Ash, it's fine for what it is. I can't like it, but I can't hate it either, for sure. It's definitely pretty much a fine enough sequel for what it is that I think you might get a little bit of value of, for sure. Not a whole lot, but only a little, for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front, for sure. So yeah. And that's just me trying to be fair, of course, this one. And yeah, like I said, no real harm to you guys liking these movies, for sure. So yeah, definitely take that for what it is. And because of that, guys, yeah, I think I'm going to give Avatar Firing Ash a 6 out of 10 as my final score. Like I said, I can't necessarily hate this movie for what it is, but I can't necessarily say it's that great either. As I do felt some parts of it could have been fixed up upon to really try to make it great. But some of the good stuff in it that I really do love and admire, I really do think is actually very nicely done, for sure. And I do kind of wish pretty much the film would have been better if we actually get some good stuff like the stuff that I've actually mentioned, for sure. So yeah, maybe we'll wait and see later on down the road if they actually do make another Avatar movie later on down the road. So yeah, but we'll have to wait and see for sure, depending on what goes on with this movie, for sure. But I guess if that's something up your value, hands down, well, pretty much strap yourself in and make your way back to Pandora to actually check this one out for yourself. No harm done whatsoever. Oh yeah, I almost completely forgot to mention, one thing that I should bring up is that, well, definitely be on the lookout before the movie starts, because, well, they actually did drop a very short teaser for, of course, pretty much the next Avengers movie that we're going to be getting in less than a year from now, which is, of course, Avengers Doomsday, to which yeah, I actually was lucky to catch that before the movie started, and boy, I'm hyped as hell for that said movie, for sure. I am definitely looking forward to seeing it when it comes out next year, for sure. So yeah, but we'll have to wait and see later on down the road if things go according to a plan, for sure. So that's one thing I definitely need to bring up, hands down. So yeah, I guess with everything that I've actually mentioned, that's pretty much everything I can say about this one. So So yeah. Alright. Alrighty then, well, I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I'm gonna ask all of you guys, what do you think of Avatar Firing Ash? If you've actually seen it for yourself, do you absolutely really enjoy it? Do you think it's definitely on par, much like the last films that we actually got, or do you absolutely hate it and think it's an absolute waste of time, much like on how you felt with, of course, the past two films that we actually got? Or are you somewhere in between where you think it's just okay for the most part? So yeah, I would love to know what you guys think. So yeah. But that's at least all I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and well, I know I've got a lot to do for, of course, Christmas that'll be coming up, so I might as well get myself prepared, but moreover, we're almost done. We're almost done. Yeah, we're almost done with, of course, the movies we're gonna see pretty much for 2025 this year for sure. Yeah, we just got one more movie to actually look forward to. Just one more. So yeah. I guess pretty much the main thing, I bet a lot of you guys may be wondering, what am I going to review to close off the movies I'll see for 2025 this year? Well, I think we might as well step out of course, the world of Pandora for now. As for the final film that we're going to be talking about, well, surprisingly enough, it actually involves a few things, hands down. It involves going into the jungle, it involves a giant killer snake, and has Jack Black and Paul Rudd. Yeah, I think that will get you the idea, of course, that front. So yeah, be on the lookout for the final film for 2025 this year for me to cover on my thoughts videos, as I'll, of course, be taking a look at the upcoming 2025 remake of Anaconda. So yeah. I really don't know what I'm going to be in for that said movie, hands down, but hey, if I'm going to close off 2025 with a little something, it will have to be that said film for sure. So yeah. But I'll definitely let you guys know on what I thought about it once I do go see it just a couple days after Christmas. So yeah, but until that actually happens, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TheThomasFan1 to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427'The Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided.
If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.